mentioned by Lloyd Gardner, and as we look at this group, Lloyd, Nigeria, Tunisia, Uganda, and the Central African Republic. Nigeria, Tunisia maybe would start as favorites in this group?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say Nigeria and Tunisia are the two strongest teams historically, especially after looking at last year's tournament, but both of them underperformed. You know, Nigeria very impressive in the first round in 2013, but then really just almost hit a wall in the knockout stages. A very disappointing loss for them against Senegal after looking so impressive, and then they just kind of fell apart towards the end of the tournament. You know, for me, player for player, personnel-wise, Nigeria the most talented team in this tournament, but they've got to put it together, and of course, it seems like they're going to be without their leading scorer. You see him on the left of your picture there, Ike Diagu, just hobbling his way into the team photo. He is not going to be playing today. He was the leading scorer in the 2013 edition of AfroBasket. So it'll be interesting to see how Nigeria adapt without him there.
Well, he was absolutely sensational as well at the 2012 FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament in Caracas when Nigeria qualified for the Olympics, and also played at the Olympics. So you're talking about talent, you're talking about experience, and, you know, I guess really it makes no sense to even try to play him today or maybe even the next game the way he's walking gingerly here in the group stage, especially when you know that all of the teams will advance. Well, the Aminu brothers obviously worth the price of admission whenever they play for Nigeria. Standing out for the Central African Republic. We're about 7 minutes away from the tip-off. And how crucial, I wonder, is it to get into your early rhythm and to come out and put on great displays, because we saw Egypt a couple years ago lose all of their games in the group phase, but because of the tournament, they were able to advance, and then they got hot. We saw Egypt start very well today against Gabon, but that doesn't necessarily prevent you from losing the first game in the knockout round.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really interesting way the tournament is set up, and as I said, Nigeria just looked so impressive in the first round group. They then went forward, you know, won their first knockout game extremely comfortably. Actually, I believe that was against Central African Republic. I have to check that one. And then it just all seemed to fall apart. Everybody was expecting a Nigeria-Tunisia semi-final, but Tunisia lost that upset game to Egypt, and then Nigeria lost to Senegal in a 2-point game. So it just didn't really work out for them. Yeah, when these teams met a couple years ago, you're right, Lloyd. I mean, it was all Nigeria, 112-75. And that was the knockout game, first round knockout of after the group stages. And that was so impressive. Nigeria, strength and depth.
And of course, if you look at the numbers in that game, Ike Diogu had 22 points, 8 rebounds, 9 of 11 from the field. So I'm sure that the players over, or the coaching staff and the fans over there on that Central African Republic bench must be breathing a sigh of relief that he won't be going out there today. There's no doubt, there's never any doubt about it when it comes to Nigeria and their squad. It seems to be more about having the good build-up to the tournament for them. And they put their minds to it. They are one heck of a team. And we will see. Maybe they'll be able to get over the disappointment of 2 years ago and come out and put on a huge performance here at this AfroBasket in Tunisia. So we will be having the playing of the national anthems for both teams. So we'll pause. Republic national anthem now for Nigeria. So Nigeria, led by Will Voigt, the coach, out there shaking hands with their Central African Republic opponents. And I suppose a good start is ideal for these guys. They want to come out and win. Good chance to play without Ike Diogu with his injury and find some rhythm. I don't think there's any doubt that these guys enjoy being out here and playing for their country. You can see they're psyched up to take on this other team that really starts as underdogs, probably in most people's books. You know, it was interesting last year not to see Nigeria at the World Cup. They're the referees for today. Joseph Bassang, also from Cote d'Ivoire and Algeria, the referees. You know, it was interesting not to have Nigeria at the World Cup because they had been such a storyline in 2012. We'll start here with the roster of the Central African Republic. And anybody you want to highlight?
Yeah, well, from 2013, the guys that impressed me, Max Kugere, number 13, he was the third leading scorer in the tournament. But also the number 8, Johan Grabongo, the youngster, who's just 19 years of age at that stage. You know, another of these players that's known at the junior levels and has done really well, now starting to find his feet on the senior stage. You know, he really did hold it down on the inside, and surprisingly for me, Jimmy Jimrabe, the other youngster on the inside, will get the starting nod as well. So the two players on the inside for the Central African Republic, both extremely young indeed, and they're going to have to try and slow down this front line for Nigeria.
Well, the Nigerian roster, Chamberlain Oguchi, one of the players from the Olympic side of 2012. I guess Guy Lawal, is number 13, is a big-time player that's made a lot of headlines in Europe the last few years.
Yeah, I mean, the strength and depth of this Nigerian team, every one of them, either a big-time university in America, plays in the States in the NBA system, or is over here in Europe. For me, Al-Farouk Aminu is the key, though. You know, the way he can create, so versatile off the dribble.
And Diogu there with the injury, which is preventing the all-important power forward big man from getting out there. Here we are, Al-Farouk Aminu, the star that you were just talking about for Nigeria, is the key players, and Max Kugere, the 28-year-old forward for Central African Republic, who had what appeared to be a little war dance there before, just to get psyched up for the game. We know about the Tall Blacks in New Zealand. Now Central African Republic coming out and putting on a show before.
A small band of fans have come in for the Central African Republic as well. They seem to enjoy it. But Kugere and Alamino will be a nice matchup. Both of them versatile forwards, score on the inside, the outside. I'd expect them to probably guard each other. So it'll be interesting to see how that kind of works out. Like I say, for the Central African Republic, the big problem for them 2 years ago, scoring the basketball. Cougar kind of did everything for them. Like we said, he was the third leading scorer in the tournament. And outside of him, there was very little help indeed.
Well, expect some theatrics. I'm guessing we'll see a few dunks. We'll get double-digit dunks today, possibly, from Nigeria. They like to play above the rim. And interesting to see with the addition of Shane Lawal how his presence will be there in that low post. His reputation is on the up without question. Which is a good three-point shooting threat. And we are about to tip it off here in Rades. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Rades here in Tunisia. It's the opening day of AfroBasket 2015, and it's Nigeria taking on the Central African Republic. And it's the team in green, the Central African Republic, that wins that opening tip, attacking the basket to the left. And already a long three-point attempt is missed. And Lawal's going to hustle and get that rebound. It hit nothing, but Lawal soared in there, tried to get the alley-oop, and already seeing some above-the-rim stuff from Nigeria.
It's not going to be the only time you say Shane Lawal hustles. That man is built on hustle. Really is blue-collar worker on the inside.
Well, inside, and good move there from Jim Rabai.
Interesting to see. He was very much a bit part player at the last African Championships. The youngster gets the nod. First 2 points of the game for him.
Well, it's not Oyedeji with the basket, but now replying at the other end was Nigeria, so they get on the board. The low post move, but the traveling is the call on Gribongo.
The thing you've got to do against Nigeria is you've got to play defense, because they just score. Got so many weapons, so versatile, so many interchangeable pieces. It's all about the defensive end. If you can slow them down somehow, you've got a chance.
Oh, Al Farouk goes baseline. He was bumped as he went past.
That's what we talk about. He really is such a difficult guard for anybody. He shoots a three. He's so long, puts it on the floor, and is quick off that first step as well.
He's going to try to catch it in low, but outside it goes to Oguchi, and Oguchi shows what he's all about. Chamberlain Oguchi. Outside the free throw line, and this time Jim Rabai misses. So back over to Nigeria. And the pressure from the Central Africans is going to give them an opportunity here, and they will get to the free throw line. Perhaps a little bit overplaying on defense, and look.
Bongo just had no help at all in 2013. He's put on some weight, a lot stronger, better frame. And really, he was the only inside guy, so the emergence of Jimmy Jimbabai will really help him out, I think. Anytime he got in foul trouble, and teams would go at him being just 19. That's when the Central African Republic really did struggle.
Entry pass knocked away, intended for Lawal. Central African Republic, very quick hands on defense so far. Long three off the back of the rim. So Max Cougare trying to get on the board. Quick pass to Lawal, and Shane Lawal goes up, and it's contested, but following was Aminu. Alade Aminu.
That's what we talked before, wow, just such a presence. Two defenders had to stop him getting the score. All that means is somebody else is left open to get the easy offensive rebound.
Central African Republic putting up the Jays. And it's Shane Lawal with the rebound. Alley-oop and the dunk already for Al Farouk Aminu. Credit the assist to Lawal. And this Central African Republic team is going to see a little bit more of that stuff by the end of the day, I'll tell you. Timeout on the floor, Central African Republic. Well, I guess you need a timeout after a play like that to kind of collect yourself. Al Farouk Aminu getting the alley-oop dunk after the pass from Shane Lawal, and impressive stuff indeed here for the Nigerians. Uzo's in the game. He's going to take the inbounds pass. Also, Owasawere has come in, number 8. Central African Republic put up another jumper, and it was Al Farouk picks up the foul. Coming in also here is Binuja for Nigeria. Plays American college basketball at Syracuse.
Fantastic talent. Played a year at Duke, but really is, he was a late addition to this team. And nothing but high praise for him.
So basically, he was one and done at Duke and went to Syracuse. Binuja. And Binuja comes in, and it's going to be Al Farouk Aminu who comes out.
12.5 points, 5 rebounds a game for him at Syracuse this year.
Alvin Thierry Goporo, the coach of Central African Republic, happy to have him, and quickly the other way it goes and misses, and now that triggers the fast break for Nigeria. And hit up with a long jumper for Oguche. He misses, and you've got to like at least the flow of the game so far. Timeout, trying to get a little bit closer here. They've made a trip to the line. They've avoided giving away a basket that last trip down. And now the Central African Republic, they seem to be living by the jump shot right now. That might not be a good thing.
They're playing the poise, the style they're playing with is effective though. Isn't it a lovely give and go?
What a play.
Easy, but with the easy score. But you've got to try and slow down this Nigerian team, like I said. So you don't want to take quick shots. You've got to try and take high percentage ones. The only thing for me, the Central African Republic, Kuger needs to get more shots. He's on that far side, number 13. He hasn't been involved at all. He's the key for them, really. Here he is.
Kuger spins, gets in the lane, passes back outside. And shot not released before the shot clock.
That's the thing. They need to get Kuger a touch earlier in the shot clock. You saw he created and he got a wide open look for a teammate, but it's got to be earlier on in the offense.
So Max Kuger comes out, has words with Alvin Thierry Goporo, his coach. And Ume from long range, off target that time. Now inside, Jim Rabbi. He's got a soft release, doesn't he? But doesn't get to go down. And Alade Amino with the board. Ume now over to the man that we've been talking about, Benuje. Missed everything. And quickly the other end, but Awal says, no, not in here. Look at that. They have missed their last 7 field goal attempts, Central African Republic. Another look at the SWAT.
You've got to love Shane Around, the energy he plays with, what he brings to the table.
Good interception from Benuje into the hands of Aminu, and he goes down for the two-handed rim rocker. And long jump shot, another one missed from Max Kugere, an air ball, and back it goes to Oguche. Alade Aminu. Apla. Well. Anyway, we've got more substitutions coming in. Jim Rabbi comes out. And Central African Republic, would you say this is already a danger time for them, trailing 13-4, 6 minutes into the game?
Yeah, I'm quite positive about their start. They've just got to get the offense going somehow. Haven't really been able to get good looks.
Yeah, defensively, they haven't looked too bad, have they? A long jump shot again, but no box out that time. That's a killer. But Lawal doesn't go up for the dunk, and he misses it. Now the turnover into the hands of Ume, who gets in, and great hustle down the floor. Chamberlain and Gucci couldn't get it to go down, but Benuje takes one and misses from long range. Now that triggers the fast break, and a little bit of whoopsie-doo there for the Central African. Nice job that time getting down the floor. Ogidi, Zashi, Yannick Zashi. Okoye is going to come in, and Uzo is going to come in for Nigeria. Oguchi and Ume come out.
Uzo's an explosive guard when he gets going.
Ogidi drills the three.
As Ogidi steps on, knocks it down.
He's a big fella out there taking that three-pointer, isn't he? Small forward, 2.04 meters in height. And foul out on the perimeter. So Central African Republic will keep it, trailing 16-6. So you got to look there at Alvin Thierry Goporo, the coach of Central African Republic. And it's going to be awfully difficult for this team if the Nigerians hit three-pointers. Oh, look at that. The interception and going down. Uzo decided not to take it all the way, so he brings it back out. To be spectacled or goggle-wearing Uzo. Some ball handling up top. Hands it off to Bunije now. Okoye back into the corner. And they decide to take another three from Ogidi, Central African Republic. Trying to just stem the tide right now a little bit, calm things down. And a nice pass into the corner, but the three is missed. And a foul called on Nigeria.
Good offense, though, from Central African Republic. They get into the inside. Great kick out. A clean look for three. They're the ones who just got to knock down. That goes out.
Oyedeji, the veteran, comes in for Shane Lawal. So Rabai, another three, another miss, and Ogidi with the rebound. Looking to make the bounce pass, he does. Benuje, though, unable to control it as he collided with the defender. And quickly, Central African Republic would go to the other end and draw a foul.
First chance for Kugler to get on the scoreboard then. Good strong drive from him. It's good play from a scorer. And the team's struggling. You can't get a good look. Just get yourself to the line. That's all he was really looking to do on this one.
So Kugler at the free throw line, and if they can get him going, you would like their chances of tightening things up here.
And this is a guy who averaged 18.4 points a game, 6 rebounds. He scored double figures in every game they played. So you've got to think, his money in the bank for at least 10.
Yeah.
Against the defense like Nigeria, the question often is who's going to come with him, or does he score those points when they're needed?
Okoye may have used his elbow to get some freedom there, going towards the basket. Got away with it, and a foul has been called on the Central African Republic. Yeah, you could see it. He just popped him with his left arm. Well, if they don't call it, I guess you can do it. And he is at the line and misses the first. There's the coaching brain trust. Abintieri Goporo is on the right. And both free throws missed from Okoye.
That's a great trap. Poor breakdown. He had no need to reach in and get the foul there. There's Benuje. He's got to learn. He's not young, but perfect trap. No need to reach in. Just try and get the steal there at the last minute.
Yep, they called the foul on Benuje. So Central African Republic's Jimmy Zimrabai at the line. And if he makes this, they're only down by 6 points. And it's just as you say, they're running some good stuff. Just a matter of knocking down some shots.
I mean, you're playing a team as talented as this Nigerian. You're not going to blow them away, but you just got to stay within touching distance. And like I said, a couple of offenses they've had where they've run good offense, they've just got to knock down the shots. Knock down open threes especially.
Yeah, I would think more encouragingly is how they're playing defense, as well as contesting on the boards. Uzo with time running down. Does he get it off in time? Well, I think they're going to count it. And now Central African Republic with another opportunity. Out on the perimeter of fouls. Trying to pick up the pressure themselves, Nigeria. And Kugler, not really what you want to do if you're Nigeria, is to put a player like Kugere on the line and let him start to find his rhythm.
And we said that. I think on the previous drive, that's all he was trying to do, is get himself to the line, see if scoreboard ticking over, get himself some confidence. And now, from a innocuous position, he's in the corner, he's got two defenders. Now got a chance to move the scoreboard even closer between the two teams and get more confidence from his own shot as well.
Well, you got 3. Don't forget, you've got, in this 4-team group, all of them will advance to the next round. And really, there's no telling where. There's no advantage to knowing where you're going to finish, is there? Because you just don't know how the other groups are going to pan out.
No. But at the
you
same
want to play well.
Yeah, but at the same time, a first place or second place finish, you would assume would give you, an easier game in the second round.
Final 10 seconds of the opening quarter, and a very interesting one at that. And good play from Nigeria, and Oyedeji is taking a trip to the free throw line. There's still 5.6 seconds left for the Central African Republic to come back. Oyedeji, well short on the first one. 34 years of age, almost 7 meters in height. And this is both. So Central African Republic with time. And it's that man Kugere puts up a 3. Almost. He got some backboard and some rim, but stayed out. But certainly the body language and the approach for this Central African Republic team, all good right now. They're only trailing 16-12 against Nigeria after the first quarter.
I think both teams will take positives from the first quarter, really. Nigeria did well, rotated players, they've got themselves a lead, they shot the ball, they've looked comfortable without being, incredibly impressive for the Central African Republic after being down, and like you say, it being a potential time where the game could have been broken open already in the first quarter, and for a team which has gone 0 of 8 for 3, they're within touching distance. So they'll be happy, or they'll turn together and say, we haven't played our best basketball, we're still there, we still have a chance, we've got to knock it down from the perimeter, but we've got to continue to play this defense and rebound the way we have.
Well, Nigeria looked like a different team when AfroBasket was on the floor, because he has the ability to just make plays. And when they made their run to get back in it, they were down by 10 points. AfroBasket was on the bench, as well as his brother Alade. So we shall see how long the starters stay out of the game. Voigt, the coach of Nigeria. Second quarter action underway here at the AfroBasket between Nigeria and the Central African Republic. The Tigers in front, team in white, Nigeria. And Nigeria looking, probing from the outside. 3-point attempt is no good from Olasawere.
That's just so frustrating as a coach. That was absolutely brilliant defense from the Central African Republic to just give away an offensive rebound.
Well, nice reply at the other end. Jim Ribai, the big center, just 23 years of age. Boy, he's got a future, doesn't he?
Oh, he's been very impressive. Like I say, he was a bit part player. He may have only seen action in one game Very, very underused by the Central African Republic in 2013, but you show the development over those 2 years that he has made.
There he is. That's the man we're talking about. And here's the moves. So interesting time here with Nigeria up 4. Looks like sunglasses on the face of Uzo. Over to his teammate Ogidi, who misses. He hit his first 3. Now Kugre puts up a long jump. And Uzo with the rebound. Puts it up. And not much offense run there, but nevertheless, the 2 points for Nigeria.
That's tough, Uzo. This is a guy spending a lot of time in the NBA. He's had a triple-double in the NBA. It shows you how versatile he is. And difficult to guard.
Oh, beautiful bounce pass for the Central African Republic. Didn't convert. Koye. All these Nigerians trying to get back to the Olympics. The country made it in 2012. Great moment in their basketball history. Will they do it again? Well, there's another 3 from Ogidi. Central Africans reply, draw a foul while shooting the 3-pointer. And Uzo with the foul. Comes out, Aminu comes back in, Alade Aminu. Remember, Ike Diogo was out with a sprained ankle. We don't know how long. He showed up here in Tunisia with crutches. We assume he'll play at some point. His free throw is good. And the second one is good. He's taking advantage of the opportunities, isn't it? Third one is good as well. Well, right now Nigeria leading by just 6 points. And good rebound inside from Alade Aminu. And I think they're a different team when the Aminu brothers are on the floor.
Yeah, but at the same time, for the Central African Republic, we talked about those little details, how they've got to try and do everything really well, and how much credit we've given them. Rebounding, especially on the defensive end, is key. They can't allow second and third shot opportunities for Nigeria, because with the talent they've got, then two opportunities to score is too many for Nigeria.
Well, a little bit of creative inside, but Ogidi scores in the paint, so he's got 8 points. And the anticipation, the steal up ahead to Ogidi, but then doing a great job getting back was Damatua. And just trying to get him to calm down. And now a couple players are kind of getting at it. Okoye and number 6 of Pewa, Junior Pewa of the Central African Republic. So there might be a chance for both coaches to get their players out of the game just to calm things down. Okoye comes out. I think he kind of, I'm not exactly sure. So it was Okoye who was talking at first, and Junior Pewa wasn't gonna have it. I think you got to like it from Junior Pewa, don't you? I mean, you don't want to pick up a foul, but the referees did a good job of getting control of it. But you like the fact that the Central Africans aren't going to be backing down. And he is going to come out. I don't think he wants to come out.
unsportsmanlike against Okoye. So it looks like it should be 2 shots in possession for Central African Republic, or is it a double unsportsmanlike?
I think it's double.
Okay.
So they're going to well, they don't take the free throws after that. Well, three-pointer is good from number 8, Grabongo. So listed as a center, steps outside and drills it. It's quite a weapon. And now the defense forces another turnover. This time, Iguchi guilty. Oh, nice release that time from Grabongo. Another foul called against Nigeria.
Players are going to have to adapt here. You know, the referees are obviously going to try and get control of the game now. They're not going to allow it to escalate into any physical confrontation. In the Central African Republic, players are doing a good job. You know, Nigeria need to make sure they keep cool heads here.
Well, Kugere at the line. And great job boxing out inside by the guy that we've been impressed with, Jim Rabai, of the Central Africans. So Nino picks up his first foul. Alade Ninu. I think it's pretty, going back to that fracas standard operating procedure, when you see that happen, you know, both guys are going to get those sportsman rights. Rabbi makes the first. He's been fearless so far here in this first half. Makes just 1 of 2 at that trip down the line. With that trip, on that trip. So this game is heating up rather nicely. Nigeria and Central African Republic. Uche passes over to Ogidi. Now Uzo back out to Ogidi. Uzo goes baseline, puts it up, and what a nice release from him. You see why he's played at the highest level. Max Kugere. Rabbi, another jumper. Boy, he is raising some eyebrows here tonight. Stroking the jump shot.
Inside duo, Rabbi and Grabongo. Very impressive indeed, both of them, you know, 23. 21, Grabongo.
Losawari was a little bit perhaps control of that last trip down the floor. Now it's back over to Max Kugere, and Max Kugere! And he has pulled the Central African Republic to within just a single point. And look at the body language. Everything is going the right way for this Central African Republic team. The three. And the confidence is soaring now for this team right here. And Coach Alvin Thierry Goporo issues the instructions. We'll avoid now a little bit of like, we need to refocus guys.
I think the little scuffle you said, it was quite nice to see the fact that Central African Republic didn't back down. And that's really summed up their play, hasn't it? You know, they haven't backed down from this challenge at all. Nigeria are bigger, they're stronger, they're more experienced. They've got players of, you know, multiple players have played in the NBA. But the Central African Republic aren't backing down from this.
You stay behind the 2 ball handlers. Then we get to Chin here. Now, once we have the back pick
for both teams,
into
and
the
now
ball
the bench
screen,
scoring.
that's a
Nigeria
hard
have
roll.
14 points coming
Get
from
down
the bench.
quick.
But it's on, you know, it's like you said, you pretty much know what you're going to get from Kugere, and now that they've got Jim Rabai playing so well, and if Grabongo can become a big factor for this team, you know, there are some very real possibilities for this Central African team to maybe spring an upset today. Who knows? Maybe use that for a launch pad for bigger things. Although some people may not consider that an upset when you consider the unpredictability factor of these AfroBaskets. Well, Al-Farouq Aminu back in, gets the rebound.
And not only the unpredictability, but also the history. You know, Central African Republic have a stronger history in this tournament than Nigeria, surprisingly enough. I like the move now, though, by Coach Voigt to bring back in Shane Luau. I think he's just the type of player for this situation. You know, great rebounder, great energy, just to give those, you know, those little dirty points, the second chance, or rebounding on the defensive end, kind of anchor in the middle.
Midway through the second quarter. It's a one-point game, Nigeria, and they get to Al-Farouq, and he goes up and draws the foul. And clearly, Lloyd, there's no, it seems, you know, you just touched on it, Will Voigt making a good adjustment. I don't see an answer for this Central African Republic team guarding Al-Farouq, unless you commit to double teaming him the entire game, collapsing. If he's going to start posting you up.
In a one-on-one, you know, he's very difficult. Last 2013, I keep referring back to that, but Nigeria's roster was kind of decimated through injury and, you know, a registration issue. But Elminu had to play the point for long stretches. And that just shows you how versatile he is, really. He was the backup point guard for them.
Whoa, a three-pointer. Grebongo.
Here he comes. Second three from him, and you can see the confidence as they take the lead for the first time.
Well, that was a big-time shot. And Nigeria just have sort of been sleepwalking a little bit here. And Al-Farouq tries to force things. Central African Republic wanted a traveling, but this is a wake-up call here early on for the Nigerians. Pass inside, and the aggressive defense almost forcing the turnover. Boy, just playing with a lot of heart today, the Central Africans. And Grebongo with those 2 3-pointers. Now Al-Farouq pretty much having to just go one-on-one in that instance, and draws the foul. I think they're going to call it. They are indeed, so this will be a 3-point play opportunity.
The key for Nigeria, the fact that when the chips are down, you know, when they're struggling, they've had to just rely on Aminu going one-on-one, head down, barreling his way to the ring as he gets offensive rebound, can't finish, but you know, they've got to find a way somehow of getting that out of their offense. You know, not having to resort to one-on-one, still sticking within the team concept, even if it is still getting the ball to Earl Aminu for him to go one-on-one.
Well, both Aminu brothers in, and right now it's Al-Farouq that's just looking to go to the basket. Hands it off to Lawal. Lawal goes baseline, gets it back over to Al-Farouq, who just kind of uses again his athleticism to catch it and float above the rim and drop it over. Nigeria back in front. Long three, no good, but the offensive rebound. Now Kugere puts up a three that's short. And good hustle and fight from both teams. Central African Republic again get it back and still can't get it to go down. I think the finger roll there from Kongbo. Maybe if he'd gone up and dunked it. Oh, beautiful drive that time, and take from Nigeria's number 5, Michael Ume.
That was nice offense there. You know, they ran the pick and roll. They had good spacing, right players in the right spots. That gave that lane for Ume to get the finish. What a difference Al-Farouq coming back on the floor has made, as we said. 6 points, a couple of rebounds as well. Just kind of been that creative force.
Oh, great play from Ume. 3-point play, and it's back to a 5-point lead. So the Nigerians right now on a run. They were down briefly. After the timeout, we'll avoid making the right call. And they get it inside for an easy one from Humboldt. Lowell gets inside and the miss, dunk, but a foul. So Aminu thought he was going to go to the line for a three-point play, but instead he has to settle for 2 free throws. Good penetration and dish from Lowell.
His point guard skills, his versatility. He said, give me that Al Farouk roll. I can do it too.
So Aminu takes it up to a 5-point advantage here with 3 minutes to go in the first half. Kugre gets his hands on it. The momentum is just all with the Central African Republic after they took the lead and after the timeout and the reinsertion of Al Farouk just changed everything for Nigeria. Max Kugre gets inside, puts it up and in, and that's a great play.
Yeah. Especially because he's going against Al Farouk Aminu, who is a very good defender.
Well, Al Farouk goes right back at him and gets another and one. What can you say about that? I mean, that is just pretty much unstoppable, and that's what the brain trust over there is saying over on the Central African Republic bench. But that was Kugre, who just looked so impressive, putting the ball on the deck and getting to the basket.
Problem is that's the 3rd foul now on Jimmy Jimbere, and also 3 fouls on Grabongo as well. So the inside duo, which have played essentially all of the minutes for Central African Republic on the 4 and 5 position, both got 3 fouls. And as I said, Grabongo had this habit in 2013 as well, where he picked up foul trouble quite often.
So 2.5 minutes remaining, foul trouble, and Al Farouk, biggest nemesis now for this Central African Republic team. Good hustle, almost forced the steal. Nigeria able to get it back. Ume brings it back out, passes over to Aguche, wide open, feed set, and it's good.
Do have good shooters, Nigeria. Can't help too much.
Coming back the other way was Ferenga Temodea. He missed. And now another 3 from Aguche, and just like that, Nigeria have raced into a 12-point lead. Unbelievable how this thing has turned around in a very short space of time.
The blink of an eye, back-to-back dagger threes from Aguchi has just opened this game right up, and that's the threat of this Nigerian offense. As we've always said, they can score in bunches, they can score so quickly. The Central African Republic, all that work that they did, how smartly they played, all the effort they put in, it could all be lost right here in this 2 minutes. The period they've got to go without Jimmy Jimbere on the floor, potentially Grabongo as well, can't play defense the way he might want with those 3 fouls. That's danger time. Time for zone.
Day
for
as the other forward. Shane, you stay in that paint, protect.
The problem with that is
Deep,
Nigeria
get it
starts to
matched
heat
up
up
right
with
away.
the 3.
Ground out,
They'll
ground
be
out,
able to get
stop.
open here.
Let's go! Hey, defense, 1, 2, 3!
Them down.
Well, you saw that each team has 12 fouls. And the biggest worry really for Central African Republic is they've got a couple of players with 3 fouls apiece. And Rabai, probably the most important, but also Grabongo. Now the Nigerian defense forces a turnover and gets back to Aguche. And offensive rebound and putback from Aminu.
And that's just great play from Nigeria. They found a good shape, hit him in transition. Aminu on the glass as well. Another turnover.
I think you said it. The Central African Republic, after playing so well for probably 15, 16 minutes, are in danger of letting all that good work just disappear here in the last 3 minutes of the first half. Nigeria got a wake-up call, and they sure did wake up. Ume misses. Battle for the board.
Need a score here. Republic.
Kugre, his three off. Lawal is the rebound. Kugre reaches in, tries to get the steal. Rabongo has picked up a fourth foul.
And a quick shot, you know, it's one of those shots offensively. You shoot it quick, you score great, you miss. It's just an open invitation to Nigeria. And what happened? They start running back, and Rabongo has to pick up, or picks up the foul, trying to guard somebody on the perimeter. He shouldn't be there, you know. He's got to be smarter than that.
Well, I guess you're going to have to question why he was there. You know, the coach has done a good job getting his team ready, but really, for a guy that picks up fouls, to have him out there late in the half, and he's picked up his fourth, so you can almost put an X beside his name for much of the rest of the game. Final minute. Central African Republic moves the ball out of bounds and goes back over to Nigeria, who are in command with a 16-point lead.
From the officials, you could see it should be Central African Republic ball there. Saw it in the replay. Tipped out, come off his leg. Got together, adjusted the call.
Good job for Central African Republic. Temodea, number 7, but now they turn it back over to Uzo. And Uzo, he got close to the basket.
Very good defense from Uzo there, just anticipated. Watch this, just cuts off the drive, quick hands. Very, very good from him.
Absolutely. One of the many Nigerians that played American college basketball. He played for Tulsa. He's gone on to have a good career. He's 27 years of age, so he's got a long way to go. He wants to sample the Olympic experience in Rio next year. On that miss, he's back over to the Central African Republic. Inside the lane, it's kind of a good-looking jump shot, but he got to go down.
A much-needed basket from them.
Central Africans was working more than to get a steal and have another basket before they have to. Nigeria look to turn the screw for the second. Uzo. D. Much better D than that. And they dodged a bullet at the end, and I suppose long way to go still here at halftime. But Nigeria is certainly in the ascendancy, and they've taken a 49-35 lead to the break. Well, we're at halftime here, and it's as the teams go to the changing rooms. Boy, I think you just have to say, really sum up this first half with 4 words: Chamberlain, Aduche, and Al-Farouq Aminu. And they just took over when Nigeria was struggling. You look at the stats, and Nigeria getting a lot of joy offensively. They've got 49 points. They're out rebounding Central Africans 25-15.
Just that little spell, wasn't it, for Nigeria, where they just could have burst the points in a hurry. The threes from Aguche, and like you said, El Aminu, when they were down, was just really held them together at a vital point of the game. For the Central African Republic, they've got to regroup and understand that, you know, for 17 minutes of that first half, they were toe-to-toe. It was just a 3-minute spell there. They didn't match them. The foul trouble is going to be a problem for them. But I think you've got to go to Gravongo pretty early, because you can't leave them until the fourth quarter. There's no point. The game will be finished by then. They just haven't got the depth on the inside without him on the floor.
Well, the winner of this tournament goes to the Olympics. Willoughby, Nigeria, who made it to the Olympics via the FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament in 2012. Will Central African Republic be in the reckoning for a spot on the podium? Stick around. It's only the group phase, but a lot of indicators to be seen in this game. Nigeria is showing themselves to be pretty good so far, leading at 49-35. 49-35 is the halftime score here. Nigeria leading against the Central African Republic. And earlier today we saw Tunisia roll to we saw Egypt roll to a big win in their first game over Gabon, who ended their 10-year absence from the AfroBasket. So here in Tunisia, we'll see the host play later, and it's an exciting day of basketball. And Lloyd, certainly we expected this to be an entertaining clash, and that's how it's proved. And even though Nigeria have gone back in front by 14 points at halftime, you know, we've seen enough from the Central African Republic to know that they can be dangerous. And perhaps the biggest enemy for right now for Nigeria is going to be themselves. They have to make sure they maintain their concentration. Without Ike Diogu, who's limping on crutches, we don't know when he's going to make it back. You know, they're missing one of their key men, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, he was arguably the best player in the tournament in 2013, the leading scorer. You know, he was very, very impressive. And for Nigeria, they just have such an embarrassment of riches. But as you said, their biggest problem is, you know, having the best players. You can only play 5 of them at any one time. Only one person on the team can take a shot on each possession. So it's a matter of how you maximize that.
Their ball coming
to make
out,
it
right?
so efficient for your team. And Nigeria did very well early on, but then at the same time,
our first play,
Republic,
right?
I think they just made great
Down for
adjustments
us is floppy
throughout the game.
action.
I give them
So
great
we're
credit to
starting
that.
with
You know,
floppy.
the first 2
I
times
want you guys
Nigeria
to
run out of
cross.
bounds
So
plays, they
Chase, come out
scored.
this way.
And then, or they get wide open shots. But then when they tried to run those same plays again, the Central African Republic had made adjustments and were ready. They didn't let them get the same shot off the same action. And that shows me that they're a good thinking team. You know, they're able to recognize what's happening and make changes. That's exactly what they did. And now they're going to have to make another change because they gave up 33 points in that second quarter. A lot of that was turnovers on the offensive end, and they've committed too many fouls. So how are they going to change that?
Well, Jim Rabai was sensational for much of the first half, and really those stats don't seem to do justice for me with his performance. Of course, an important statistic that wasn't there is the fact that he has 3 fouls. But, you know, it's important, I guess, when you look at his development from a couple of years ago, how well he's played today, and you consider that all 4 teams from all 4 groups are going to advance from the opening group, you know, from the group phase, that it's a process for these teams. And, you know, Central African Republic look like a team that can probably grow from this game regardless with a win or a loss, as long as they play well here in the second half. If they play hard and focused like in the first half, it'll be a good day for them.
They're just so fragile. You see the lineup that's out here. Kugure's had to move to the 4 position because they just don't have that depth without having Gabongo on the floor. It could help them spreading it out, really sort of try and hit one of those threes. Be missing, or it could really hurt them because they've got no one to rebound on the defensive end.
Well, if you've been away, welcome back for the second half. Nigeria, Central African Republic here in Rades, just on the fringes of Tunis, the capital of Tunisia. It's the opening day of the EuroBasket. Egypt winning earlier today. Now one of these teams will join them in the win column. So turnover for Nigeria. Gives it back over to the Central African Republic. And a 3-pointer, no good from Uzo. And, no good from Damashwa. And Nigeria then go down and score. And very impressive, Michael Ume, 7 points. He's looked apart, hasn't he?
Yeah, been very good at the point. I think Uzo as well, the other point guard they have, is struggling a bit with an eye injury. That's why he's wearing those goggles. Good production. Problem for the Central African Republic. And they take long shots equal long rebounds, and that just gives a chance for stuff like this. Nigeria in transition.
That's really exciting, but they hustle back on defense. And Lawal gets it, goes up for the dunk. And the ball goes back over. Or it's going to stay with Nigeria with 15 on the shot clock. And he just had one thing on his mind. And Pewa blocked it. The 3-pointer, though, and the 3-pointer from that man Chamberlain Oguche has taken that lead up to 19. He's been fantastic. It's all about experience. He had 11 first-half points. Now he's got 14.
4 of 6 from beyond the three-point line. Lights out. And still the woes continue for the three-point shooting for the Central African Republic. Just 3 of 17 they are.
And a foul call against the Central African Republic. Okay, they just broke the game open. They were down 29-27. Will Voigt called the timeout for Nigeria. They came out, got Al-Farouq Aminu back on the floor. He made about 3 plays in a row.
It's early for him to go back with 4 fouls. See how long he can last.
I guess it's now or never is the approach.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was, just a couple of plays. Aminu put his head down, got to the ring to give that spark, and then Oguchi from the perimeter.
Beautiful bounce, pass, and the dunk! So, how's that for an answer there from Yannick Zachet? Seeing that same determination here from the Central African Republic. And if they can force Nigeria, or if Nigeria starts settling for jump shots, that's only going to help them. And we've got an unsportsmanlike foul. And I think it's the right call because there was nobody else that was back there, was there?
I think the unsportsmanlike was the right call. You're absolutely right. I think Hume's probably got an argument to say he was fouled, and that's why he turned it over. But that's just beautiful play there. Great back cut. Not only is it a good back cut, but it's the way that he executed it. A lot of the times players will run a cut not really wanting the ball or only cutting if they think they've got a chance, but that was, a full throttle cut, and the defense had no chance to recover.
Well, Damashwa just makes 1 of 2, and you can see the frustration from the coach, Central African Republic coach, Kaporo, as he knows every point is vital in this comeback attempt. Sashay passes over to Grabongo. Grabongo feels his way inside, puts up a shot, kind of forced that one. There's only one player in the court that can do that type of play, and he's playing the ball right now, Al-Farouq. Almost forget him. Al-Farouq's going to get something more times than not when he puts his head down and goes to the basket. Ume misses, and Al-Farouq with the rebound and puts it back up and in. And Jem Rabai couldn't do anything about it with the foul trouble.
Well, you got to ask, where was the box out initially? They forced Nigeria. They gave them an open jump shot they missed. So there should have been plenty of players around to rebound.
Damashwa puts it up, and Jem Rabai was fouled by Oguche from coming in from behind. That was the call. Here it is again. Watch this. This is Alfred. Nobody was able to keep him off the glass.
He's got position on the inside. So he did really well. So as the shot's going up, he's got inside 2 defenders.
Damashwa with a long jump shot. Well, he's starting to come to life a little bit here. Back to a 16-point game. And now the pass intercepted. It was just an errant pass, really. Not sure where it was headed. And the door is open ever so slightly now for the Central African Republic if they can just put together a little run here. Bongo puts up a 3. Now Al-Farouq Aminu fouled by Zachet, I think. There's Max Kugere. Watching the frustration from the bench. Speaking to the assistant coach.
24.
Here's his watch. Hamashwa reaches in and commits the foul on Lawal. So 5.5 minutes remaining. And this Central African Republic team trying to get a stop here. Trailing about 16. Al-Farouk Aminu. Well, they stopped him, but they didn't keep Lawal off the boards.
It's going to be 4 then.
So Jen Rabai picks up number 4. And Kugere is going to come in as well as Kongbo. So Damashwa will come out now. We've had the luxury of having Kugere on the bench. Maybe he can bring a bolt of energy. Lawal misses the first. And the left-hander makes the second. And the pass, well, that just was unnecessary. That's going to draw the ire of the coach, Gaporo, and timeout. So Central African Republic is going to come over and try to collect themselves. Turnovers like that you just can't not have. Well, the Central African Republic have called the timeout, Lloyd, and it's, you're trailing by 17. You're going up against a Nigerian team right now that has Al-Farouk Aminu on the floor. He's the go-to man. You've got foul trouble. Two of your 3 main guys, Grabongo, although Grabongo's on the court, but Jim Rabai is, now sitting down with 4 fouls. It's just awfully difficult for this Central African Republic team, isn't it? Damashwa has also checked out, and he was looking good for a while.
Absolutely, their backs against the wall at the moment, and the biggest frustration is, they keep getting themselves back into this game. They got into 17, but then they'll have a cheap turnover against the pressure. It's a 2-2-1 press, not really designed to steal the ball, but just slow you down. They give up anything cheap that way, so they can't give up offensive rebounds. They can't turn the ball over against the press. They're the number one things they've got to cut out. If they can do that, they'll give themselves a chance to get back in this game, but obviously going to need to make shots to do that.
Well, Damashwa is going to come back in, and Grabongo is going to go out. So Grabongo played with the 4 fouls, but didn't really appear to do as much. I guess he was playing pretty good defensively. But they just can't stop this man right here, Al-Farouk Aminu. And Al-Farouk has 12 points, now 13. So good balance for Nigeria. Gucci with the 14 points, and got 4 players in all double figures. And now the defense forces another turnover. Wolford calls the chin play. What do you think that is? Rubbing his chin? We're going to find out here. Aminu, hits a cutter! Beautiful play. Ume catches the pass and scores. .point advantage. Zache banks it in.
Option, no passes. just come down and take the three. They've got to move the ball. They've got to move the defense. I always say the weak points of the zone, you've got to try and get into the high post or the short corner areas. You get it to those spots, the defense has to turn and collapse inwards. And then when you come back, if you have to come back out, then it's a lot easier to hit the three, or you've got defense rushing at you. You can try and beat it off the drive. But if you're just going to stay with the ball out here, out in the perimeter, the way the Central African Republic have been, they will struggle. It's man to man.
Well,
again, the ball
another turnover.
Haven't gone inside the three-point line. You know, it's slowly passed from one side to the other, and that was it. It was the only thing that Nigeria had to guard.
Schwab guarding Ume. South Republic would like to force some turnovers like they did in the first half. Trying to stay with Gucci. Gucci misses, but Wall misses with the offensive rebound. Putback misses again. Excuse me, that's Aminu. Alade Aminu gets a trip to the line.
That's the fourth foul on Kugure as well. So 3 major players of the Central African Republic. We've got 3 fouls now. No, 4 fouls, sorry.
Yep, they're going to have to get somebody else to step up, aren't they? And we're going to see the insertion of number 10, Sydney Peoa. Gets a lot of room there, but gets it to drop. Another turnover. The pass was intended for Zache, and as he made the move to get it, it was obviously looked like a slight miscommunication, but when he tried to get it, his leg just kind of lost it.
Turnover back.
Right back, so a sloppy play here. For 3. I'm afraid of putting him up. Ume now brings it back for Nigeria. Ladamino hands it back to Al Farouk. Nigeria is turning it over, so really this is turning into the sloppiest stretch of the game. With 2:51 to go, third.
They keep struggling. In Nigeria, they got sloppy when they went deep into the bench. They still got the starters out there. They haven't really subbed at all in this third quarter, have they? Nigeria trying to open up this lead, I think, trying to get some rhythm.
Back to Aminu, and it goes in for the dunk. But it is going to be wiped away for traveling. Nevertheless, one of the more entertaining plays that we'll see. Nice unselfish back pass there from Aguchi. No look. Great for Aminu.
Not sure. First time I saw the replay, I was like, yeah, it's definitely the right call. Second time, I'm not sure. He definitely took a shuffle. It's whether he had the ball.
Oh, but what a block, Lloyd, from Al Farouk. Boy, he absolutely swatted that ball. Watch this. Watch this block from Al Farouk. Well, it just didn't have a chance, did it? Gucci comes out of the game. So now maybe it's a 19-point deficit. You've got Alade Aminu on the bench. But you still got you've got Uzo out there and Al Farouk. It's a pretty good lineup for Nigeria. What do you see as the keys for this Nigeria team to grow and to get better as the tournament goes along? To see Uzo emerge more so?
Yeah, I think Uzo, like I say, he's been out at the end of this season with an injury. He's got the eye gouge as well. So again, they just challenge shots, don't they, Nigeria? But for me, they just got to get a little bit sharper offensively. You know, their ability to run sets, where they could be looking, how they play together. Still seems a team in progress.
Benuja puts up the three, and now he's going to be called. He thinks he's got 3 free throws coming, and he's going to be told that he was flopping.
Yeah. I don't think anyone knows.
Watch this. So Will Voigt doesn't agree with the call quite clearly. Oh my is what he said.
Yeah,
anyway.
I was saying, I think the Nigerians have just got to get better as a group. Not necessarily the personnel or who's going to play better, just as a team, how they run their sets, how efficient they are, you know, how they stick together. Because even you saw when it broke down, it got very individual. You know, they went to Elaminu, you know, and as I said at the time, I'd like to see them getting that same thing, but out of some offense.
Jump shot, another foul on the perimeter, and this time it's on number 11 for Nigeria, Ogidi. Andy Ogidi.
Another thing for Nigeria is Diago. If he comes back, he's the one real low post threat for them. They can just throw it to him on the block, kind of get out of his way, and he'll get you 2 points. With the lineup they've got at the moment, I'm not sure. Luau, as good as he is, isn't really a back to the basket low post player. And that's the one thing maybe they're missing.
Right now, we just don't know the severity of the injury for Diogo, but a foul has been called on Central African Republic, trying to get the rebound, goes back over. So Lawal back at the free throw line. Kongbo walks back disconsolately. So they called that on Kongbo. Just like he was battling, looked like he was battling for the rebound. Goes 0 for 2 on that trip. And he gets it back. Back to the men. Coached by Alvin Thierry Gokoro, Central African Republic. Damashwa. Hewa. Foul trouble. Robbing right now, keeping the 3 best players of the Central African Republic on the bench. Hewa comes out on bench. And now Ogidi misses, but Lawal with the rebound. And this time, Benuja makes it.
It's the work of Luau again. An offensive rebound, we said that's where Central African Republic have to try and hold firm.
Walked away, but Damashwa gets it back and hits the short jumper. 20 points the lead for Nigeria. Final 20 seconds of the third quarter. Uzo. Nice pass to Lawal. He goes up for the dunk. Kongbo had his hand on it, and Lawal earns a trip to the line.
Might not be such a bad foul. Obviously, he just missed a pair. Misses one here, save him a point. It still means they get the opportunity for that last shot as well.
That's how our coach is thinking right now. We'll give away that foul, won't he?
Yeah. I mean, it's a certain 2 for Luau otherwise.
missed two, then he made that one. So 2 free throws, good. Plenty of time here. They probably don't want to take it too soon, do they? But they do. And leave Nigeria just with that little bit of chance. But they then mess up. Unfortunately for the Central African Republic, they're not quite as aware of where the clock was. So, third quarter is in the books, and Nigeria lead at 69-47.
Right? You got to be disciplined.
17 to 25 inside
if
the
you're
arc
guarding
for
11,
Nigeria, so
you're sitting at the nail, telling everybody you got to come
after
on.
that,
You
the
close
fact
out
that
to
they've knocked
him,
down 7
you're soft
three-pointers,
as you could possibly be, keeping him in front.
free throw shooting
He bangs
wasn't that
one,
good,
then come
but
back. Wide right.
free throws were
He's
falling.
trying to switch it,
This
and he
game
went
would
wide right.
be
all
done
right?
and dusted.
Right?
So that'll be an area that perhaps Nigeria will improve as this tournament wears on. You can't allow that type of shooting for your opponent to be successful. South African Republic will no doubt grow from this game. They certainly played extremely well for about the first 16, 17 minutes. And then just the Al Farouk, Chamberlain, Noguchi factor just took over and changed the game really for Nigeria.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of things you can point to. That little spell there, and also, as we said, the fouls. Without the big pairing, the two players on the inside for the Central African Republic, they've been decimated on the glass, really. They just haven't been able to slow down. So whenever Nigeria have missed, which hasn't been very often, they're there for offensive rebounds. You know, they're there for second chance points. So it's 15-1 second chance points in favour of Nigeria. They've got 12 offensive rebounds in relation to Central African Republic, who only have 13 defensive rebounds.
Almost a steal to start the fourth quarter from Uzo. Ends up with a long one and the miss from Pewa, Sydney Pewa. Both Pewas on the floor right now. Junior Pewa as well. Where's number 7? Uzo shakes and bakes, gets inside, gets close. Benajay comes down, knocks it away, but in the hands, and nice transition, but then they turn it back over to Benajay. He goes hard to the basket, doesn't make the layup, and the ball goes back. Long one from Damashwa, so the three-pointer is good. And looks like Benajay's in a little bit of pain, like he's injured his foot.
I think it's just cramp.
Okay. Timeout has been called with 8:55 remaining. Jala Mabata is coming into the game and replaces Junior Pewa. Pewa wears number 6, not number 7. Looks like he'll be okay. Also, Sydney Pewa is coming out. And Jim Rabbi is coming back into the game with the 4 fouls. So His left leg is extended, Benija, and they're just trying to work that cramp out, as you said. Uzo's looking pretty slick out there. We're seeing Egypt win today. Comfortably, to put it mildly. Now the reach and almost a turnover.
Kick violation means a 3-second shot clock's now in. Reset to 14 as well. Sum the game up for
Central African Republic.
Yeah, play good defense, but just can't quite finish the play.
Velasquez is going to inbound it. Rabbi gets in. And the shot was good, so Jada Mabata comes right off the bench and drills the jump shot, gets it back to a 16-point deficit.
You never know. You never know. The 3-point shot, still got the players to come back in. Central African Republic, maybe they're still within a chance. Still a treacherous game. We've seen that Nigeria mentally
Check out.
yeah, can be taken for granted at certain points.
Just make sure you take it
turnovers of Central African Republic, but Nigeria themselves have given up 12 points of turnovers, so they haven't done a very good job looking at the
Let's go. Finish him. Finish on 3. 1, 2, 3. Finish. Next 2 minutes, man.
So 8:25 remaining. Perhaps a slight faint hope here for Central African Republic down 16, but who knows? Jim Rabai back in, and now we're going to see Okoye get it back outside to Uzo, and it's going to be a foul, I think, called on Kadenga Temadea. It was indeed his second foul. Again called on Kadenga Temadea for holding down low. It's guarding Oyedeji. Now the dump inside. Oh, couldn't quite get it to go down. Is that Okoye who tried that? Good hustle from Okoye to get it back in to play, but the ball goes out of bounds. And Sachet hustles over to check on Damashwa, help him back onto the floor. That's a good defensive stand. And they just throw it away needlessly. They've had a few of those turnovers tonight.
Just a terrible turnover. I said you run with a chance, get it 13, perhaps 14 with a score. Nigeria are out of sorts, but then they're even in foul play.
Oh, and an unsportsmanlike foul has been called on that drive to the basket. No hesitation by the referee. What's this? Not sure I understand why, but Kadenga Temadea, they called it on him. He doesn't seem to be complaining, but he has obviously he did pick up a couple of quick fouls before that, and I think he was arguing against the calls. The referees don't forget those things, perhaps. That was good, Okoye. good anticipation and defense. But again, another foul called against the Central African Republic. No, it's going to be on Nigeria. So rewarded that time. They were going to be fouling Nigeria, picking up their fourth, but the foul was on Nigeria. Damashwa has it.
Everybody back on the floor now, so if they're going to make a run, this is the opportunity for them. There's going to be any way back. It's going to be now, really, for the Central African Republic.
Damashwa penetrates over to Max Kugere for three.
They're the ones that need to drop. They'll take every opportunity, but great D though.
Okoye picks up a foul charge. So Egypt won earlier today. They're not in this group, but Nigeria winning today. That's the third foul on Okoye. And all the teams will advance from the opening round, which is good. So it's kind of like an extended warm-up period for these teams for the real game, isn't it? Good hustle from Grabongo to get it back. Zache and rims out. Back to Uzo. Puts it up short. Nigeria challenge on the boards to reach. And now comes Central African Republic, Zache, and he is fouled. Fouled by Olasawere, Jamal Olasawere.
Keep thinking, as good as Nigeria are, just give the other team a chance all the time, don't they? So Central African Republic, now they had a wide open three, a wide open two as well, and now they're at the line. So just think, add another 5 points onto their total, 13. Yeah, they got a chance to almost get within double figures, kind of get it to 11. With 6.5 minutes to go, you've got yourself a game, but unfortunately the Central African Republic just couldn't hit those shots, really get themselves going and take the opportunity they were given.
What would that be the difference when you compare this Nigerian start to the start of Egypt earlier today? Egypt a little more ruthless when they got on top. They really put their opponents away, although maybe the quality of the opposition wasn't quite as good.
Yeah, I think it's difficult to say because Gabon was step off and Egypt was so comfortable. Central African Republic have played pretty well here, but still the quality and difference is there to be seen. As I said, any opportunity, they haven't been able to take it, but Nigeria, as I said, as good as they are, impressive as they are in spells, you feel like they give the opportunity for another team, and here it is again, an offensive foul, but Central African Republic just haven't taken that chance. Where could they have been? This could be it. This could be the score to get them into single figures right now. Still push well by 18.
Well, Zache brings up the floor. Clock obviously is the enemy already of Central African Republic. Coming up on the 6-minute mark. Grabongo. Oh, I heard that over here. The reach and the foul on Oyedeji. There from Grabongo as well.
This is what Nigeria have, though. Game starts to get, like I said, they start to hit that period where they're not playing very well. In comes Aladamino. If it keeps going for another minute or two, Luau will come back. If it keeps going for another minute or two, then Al Farouk will come back as well. They've just got the luxury of those players coming in still.
In fact, Al Farouk is in now, because I was looking for him when you said that.
Sorry, yeah, he come in at the same time, so maybe they've been playing worse than I feel.
Giddy inbounds the ball and helps bring it up the floor. Now puts it back. Calm things down. Alfred tries to go behind his back. Interior pass. And Aminu rather was blocked. And a good attempt from Central African Republic to get it, but couldn't quite control it now. Quickly, Aminu drives in, denied yet again.
Some poor options from Aminu. Forced the shot.
Now, Sougare drives in and gets an and one. That's 71-56, and if he makes this, it's a 14-point game.
Still a lot of time. Just got to do a better job, and that's where I said Nigeria have to be better. It's not necessarily the players, but the options they take and where their teammates are, how they know they look for them.
So 71-57 is game on. Central African Republic need a stop. And as we get to the midway point of the fourth quarter, Al Farouk is in. He's going to put the ball on the deck. Pass it back outside to Giddy, short, and the rebound was not collected. And Al Farouk gets it back and puts it up and in, and that is what you call a killer.
He's just a step above everybody. He made the pass to Agidi. Everybody stopped to watch it, and then he just stepped inside his defender. So when the shot came up, the ball just bounced into his hand as the defender couldn't get it. You know, he is one play ahead.
Forcing it inside. Jim Rabbi turns it over to Aguchi. And Al Farouk was there for the follow. And surprised he wasn't able to get that and dunk it. I suppose really the word, as you see the substitutions taking place, Will Voigt taking off some of his players. The word might be unconvincing win today for Argentina if they do, for Nigeria if they go on to win it. I don't know where Argentina came from.
Yeah.
Too many air miles.
Yeah. I would say yes. You know, so far they haven't been at their best, but it's opening day of a tournament.
Opening day,
yeah, of a long tournament. And we're talking about a team which is winning by 16 right now, not playing very well. So I think they've got a long way to go. Diago obviously would have been in their plans. You know, the chances are they've put systems in place, they put sets on the floor which would maximize him having the ball and his strengths. But now he's not in the team, so they've got to make adjustments and play differently without him. So yeah, still a work in progress. Work to be done, I would say, for Nigeria.
Well,
Just,
you probably heard that, and you saw everybody turn and look. The DJ, obviously something went wrong with his audio system because players and coaches for both teams looked over to see what it was. And foul trouble. Olasawere has 4 for Nigeria. Teranga Temodea has 4 for Central African Republic. Lubongo as well as Kugere. And Zache.
Now, if for some reason there's no pressure, I want to see weak roll. Okay, weak roll. We'll see great clips of him getting open. Just be patient and fuck back. Okay, here we go.
11 points, 10 rebounds. Go back home. Somebody tells me he had a double-double. He'll feel good about himself. People back home. You know, the good thing about these days is people are able to watch this back home. in some platform or another. So I'm sure that everybody's watching the games back in wherever these people are, whether they're in Nigeria, whether they're in the States. There's a big influence, American influence of players that come from the U.S. with Nigerian roots. I'll continue to watch this. Ume up top. Ninu back to Ume. And a three, gets a lot of rim, stays out. Now Damashwa brings it back. Kugure puts up a three. And he misses. And goes back. Back to Ume, and he quickly, that was a good play from Ume, just got down the court quickly, saw the opening, and draws the foul. You know, that's going to be it for Kugure, by the way, but you know, I've had a chance to watch, as you see this play and the foul. Romain Sato play in Spain and in Europe. You know, he played for a long time at Montepaschi, he played at Turkey, plays now for Valencia, and he would have been a great player for the Central African Republic. I don't know why, you know, I knew there was some talk about him playing for them at some point. You could see where he would have made a very positive influence on this team.
Absolutely.
Or he would have been a welcome addition, let's put it that way. Yeah. It's unfortunate that couldn't work out.
It's a team which has moved forward, you know, from their performances in 2013. You know, I think they've been much better. 13th in 2013, it was our worst ever finish.
Well, you can see this team getting to the quarterfinals. I mean, you know, they're going to get to the knockout round, and who knows? They are playing against one of the title contenders today, you would imagine, this Nigerian team. And they've got time to grow in this tournament as well. That's how the format allows for, since they'll be progressing to the next round with everybody else, regardless. Oguchi passes over to Ume, and Ume banks it in. Ume shows the way. 13 points. He has looked good at the guard spot for Nigeria, in my opinion. And now the ball goes out of bounds off of Congo.
Just have a quick look. Yeah, the problem for Central African Republic is they're in Group A, crosses over with Group B, which has Angola and Senegal in. So even if you say they take Uganda for third position behind Tunisia and Nigeria, you know, chances are they're playing the loser of Senegal versus Angola. Should other games go to form, of course, Morocco have been, you know, decent in years past as well. So not wishing to write them or Mozambique off from Group B, but you know, the form and the tradition of the recent years would tell you Angola and Senegal would finish in some way 1 and 2 in that group, which would mean they would face the third place team and the fourth place team of Group A.
Saw the points and the pain, the domination for Nigeria, and a lot of that's Al Farouk. I mean, he was just going inside at will there in the second quarter.
Offensive rebounds as well, 13 offensive rebounds.
Let's go, finish them on three, finish on three, 1, 2, 3.
Turnover game. The Central Africans can't afford to turn it over 21 times in a game against Nigeria, especially because Nigeria would be a team that would punish you for those turnovers and scoring points.
But the only positive for Central African Republic is Nigeria have turned it over 20 times themselves.
Yeah, I saw that 8-0 run there by Nigeria. Looked like he was going to take it to the hole. Gives it back to Okoye. Okoye was blocked, and then the follow by Lawal. So Nigeria with another dunk.
He hasn't really done any scoring, has he? 5 points. But does have 14 rebounds now. He's done his job.
Yeah, I don't see him as the player that has to score for this Nigerian team. Not at all. Damashwa puts up a three, and it's good for the Central African Republic.
To life in the second half, isn't he? 15 now, and he had 2 at the half, so that's even in the second half. He can continue that form.
Aminu picks up the foul, boxing out Sachet. Aminu was looking into one of the cameras to plead his case, like he didn't agree with that. Well, don't forget the specter of Ike Diogu coming back, although we don't know when from the sprained ankle. Try to grab him after the game and see what his situation is. And inside, beautiful bounce pass from Ume, hands it off to Oyedeji. And just frustrated, angry looks coming there from the Central African Republic bench because they came back and took the lead. So M1. And I guess with Ike Diogu having that sprained ankle, he is such a good player that you're willing probably to go for the entire group phase without him. Maybe, depending on how events go, you dress him out for the round of 16, and you don't play him unless you need to.
Yeah, I mean, the smart thing Nigeria have done this year is they actually brought 13 players. Last year they had 12, one wasn't able to play, then they had an injury, then they had somebody else get cramped for a game. In one game, I think they were down to 7 or 8 healthy players. And for me, that took a toll because when they got into the qualification rounds, they looked tired. So they seem to have adjusted this year smartly.
Yeah. Now we've got a 5-second violation.
Yeah. So they have the luxury of bringing down, not having to force Diagu in until he's needed.
But here's what other teams have to face. You just saw a good picture there of the Aminu brothers looking on. And it's a formidable pairing, without question. I still think that Egypt team looks pretty good to me as well. They've got a lot of bigs. The contrast of styles for all these teams is fascinating when you think about the AfroBasket. Place is going to be rocking when Tunisia plays. Oyedeji is a veteran, and so this is good news that Benuja is going to come back into the game because he left with what we believe was a cramp. So he's coming back in for Nigeria. Nice free throw gets it back to a 19-point deficit. 82-63. So Ume comes out, having been very impressive for me. And Benuja comes right off the bench and drills the three. You were telling me that you spotted some information on Sato, the reason why ultimately he couldn't come was problems with his insurance, potentially, reportedly.
Yeah, I believe. And like you said, what an addition he would have made to this team.
The jumper is no good. Benuja brings it up, hands it off, and good play. And Oyedeji's making a living now down inside the post there. Rabbi misses, and Benuja now with the final 24 seconds to go here in this second game of the opening day of the AfroBasket. Leading by a huge 87-63 margin, and another foul, and Oyedeji has a chance to pad his stats right at the end with 13 seconds to go. Jim Rabbi checks out of the game. There he is. See, he's got the 5 fouls. And 11 points. He only had 2 points in the second half. He was more impressive in the first. But as you so rightly pointed out, he was very impressive compared to 2 years ago. There's the Will Voigt, the coach the head coach of Nigeria on the left looking on. So job well done for him on opening day. Second one is good from Oyedeji. And Damashwa is going to hold it. Maybe he'll attempt one in the last couple of seconds, maybe not. So he's just going to hold on to it, and that's how it finishes. 88-63. Nigeria blow it open just a little bit more right in the final minute and a half or so, and win it by 25. Central African Republic gave as good as they got for really the first 16, 17 minutes of the game. But from then on, it was all Nigeria.
Job done for Nigeria, really. You know, shoot 63% from the field, from 2, 36% for 3. Dominated the glass, as they have done for the whole game. So, but like I said, still a lot of work to be done. Wasn't really a convincing performance yet from them.
Well, they dominated the glass, and you saw the great performance. You know, really the game changer, you have to say, was, I'd say, 2 game changers, Al-Farouk and Aguchi. They just came out late in the second quarter and basically put the game away. Nigeria still perhaps with some struggles on learning how to go ahead and close teams out, but I think against a bigger opponent maybe might struggle a little bit, but on tonight's evidence they look like they're worth the building. It's one of the teams that can go all the way here at the AfroBasket. Thanks for watching, everybody. 88-63, Nigeria win it over the Central African Republic.